let's talk about cancer. What you would do if you got cancer.
It's not a crazy, crazy list. And yes, some of those things may sound different and eccentric, but I feel like it would be something that I would do.
Welcome to the perfect society where Republicans and Democrats both get their way, and so does everybody else. Log into everybodyshappy.com to find out how you can help build a perfect society. I'm Curt Derby. Thank you for joining me today. Today's episode is called, Is This the Cure for Cancer? And it's part of our Brainspace series where we stimulate your mind and possibly even save your life. My guest today is Dr. Bridger Cutler. Dr. Cutler, thank you for coming in today. Really looking forward to this content because cancer is a big scare for a lot of people. I think probably of a lot of things that people, I don't know if we catch cancer or if we get cancer or whatever, but when we acquire cancer, it might be one of the scariest situations that anybody can face. So looking forward to talking to you and find out what you would do if you got cancer. So tell me a little bit about yourself and let's talk about cancer. What you would do if you got cancer.
Let's see. My name's Bridger Cutler. I am a doctor of chiropractic and then I have a master's in strength and performance. And then I did my bachelor's in exercise science. And then I did a minor in chemistry. When it comes to cancer, it's one of those things that I feel like growing up and getting more knowledge and more knowledge and more knowledge, I went very much towards like the medical side of things, where it was just like, because I originally wanted to go to medical school. I want to be an orthopedic surgeon for forever. And while I was in undergrad, prepping to take the MCAT and just finishing up all my OCHEMs and stuff, I realized I hate working in a hospital because you go in there and it was just like, I had been a personal trainer from the time I was 20. So all through my undergrad, I was a personal trainer, and I saw how powerful eating, nutrition, and fitness and just lifestyle was. And so many of the people that came into the hospital were in there because they just had a lifestyle that didn't necessarily fit health. And that was one of those things where it's like, why are we not focusing more on the nutrition and the diet and the exercise and just lifestyle and little things that could make a big difference? Instead, it was just like, okay, you have cancer or you have diabetes. We're going to put you on this medication for the rest of your life, and this is how it's going to be. Because most people would rather take a medication than change anything about their life. And I had talked to one of my mentors. He's a interventional cardiologist. And so he works specifically with putting in stents. And he told me he has only ever had one patient that he went for a 6-month checkup, and the guy had actually listened to him when he told him to start exercising and eating better. And he walked in and he's just like, I was completely blown away. This guy had started eating better, exercising, and he's just like, and now he doesn't have to take all these medications. And he's like, oh, I just did what you told me to. And the hard thing is that most medical schools don't teach anything about the other side of things. It's mainly just, which is what it's there for. It's to teach them about the medications that need to go into space. And there is a place for medication. There's a place for these things. It's just, I feel like we overuse them too much. We go right to it, right to these emergent medical interventions when, hey, let's try some conservative stuff first. And that's why I actually changed the path I was going down and ended up going to chiropractic, and just wanted to take more of the conservative side of things where I can put in the functional nutrition and the different avenues that are less invasive, and it requires more of the person. And that's the hard thing about conservative medicine and this kind of holistic medicine, is it requires more of the individual. And that's where it comes down to, if I had cancer, what would I do? My life has very much been about discipline for me personally. Exercise, fitness, nutrition. I'm a creature of habit. I'm very much a type A person. Just like, I like to have my things that I eat. I don't really stray from those, because when I do, I don't feel as good. And so if it came down to cancer, I mean, every person It's the same with the circadian rhythm. I don't know if you know anything about like circadian rhythm and melatonin release and how your body recovers and how it sleeps when you're constantly going to bed at a different time or you're not following a pattern. Your body wants to follow a pattern. Everybody's body wants to follow a pattern. When you follow a pattern, your body is able to release hormones at the right times so that you recover better. It helps lower cortisol. It helps with all these different pathways inside your body that help your body to be healthier. And so that would be probably the very first thing I would do, and is to say, hey, you need to get on a schedule. I would probably put myself on a more strict schedule than I am right now. It's hard. Sometimes you have things come up in life, and I have buddies that want to hang out, and sometimes I want to go for a motorcycle ride late at night. And so, but I would start by just addressing that. That's the most simple thing that anybody can do, is maximize your sleep. I already sleep on a grounding pad. I'd probably get a chili pad as well.
Is a chili pad not a, is it, I guess it's either a mattress pad or it's the top, is it the top sheet?
It's like a sheet.
But it gets cold.
Yeah.
Right?
So
hence the chili.
It cools you down.
Yeah.
And that's actually really good for sleep. It's really good for getting your body to cool down and to actually get into a deeper sleep. And so people who sleep hot, it makes all the difference in the world. And then a grounding pad, a lot of times like a chili pad, I think has a grounding technology in it as well. It's like laying on the grass. I don't know if you've ever gone and just laid on the grass. That's so good for your body. And there's so many new studies out there regarding grounding and how beneficial it is for like your nervous system and just overall hormone health at night. And so I actually sleep on one of those every night. And I've used a like 8 sleep mattress. I've used one of those before. Phenomenal sleep, because it actually kind of cools you down. And as you're starting to wake up, it will start to warm it up and just kind of prep your body for the day.
Okay. And I don't want to sidetrack you off the
No, you're
sleep.
good.
I want to get back to the sleep, but I love what you said in the beginning, that you changed your passion and your interest based on what you were seeing with personal training and what the hospital setting was all about, and just issuing remedies rather than preventative care.
Yeah.
I think this is an important point to reinforce, because I think we're starting to move in that direction. We, just Americans in general.
Yes.
Maybe not everybody. But I think the first time it came on my radar, I remember 2016, the Democratic National Convention of all things. Marianne Williamson was running for against Hillary. And she's a doctor, and she's published a lot of books. And she said, we need to get away from healthcare and start thinking about wellness care, meaning let's look at our diet, let's look at our habits and our schedules and our sleep and all the things I'm sure you're going to talk about today. And it occurred to me, I was like, that's probably the first time I've ever heard anybody publicly say that, a politician especially.
Yeah.
Because the politicians are all about, well, let's fix the problem, let's fix the problem, let's fix healthcare, let's fix insurance, let's fix this, and like you said, I love, there is a place for fixing. But if all of us can just be a little more proactive and prevent needing to be fixed, we're all probably better off. So anyway, just I love the path that you're on. And so back to sleep. So if you had cancer, you already used the grounding pad and the chili pad. But if you hadn't had those things, you would purchase those things.
Purchase those things.
Gotcha.
I would start on magnesium glycinate, and probably inositol as well, which inositol is going to help with insulin and blood sugar spikes at night. So it helps you sleep deeper and sleep better. So you're not going to have where you're waking up because you have a blood sugar spike. It's just very good for overall insulin. And those would be probably the 2 things that I would take. So magnesium supplement, inositol, probably berberine as well. Berberine is one of those things that I would probably take during the day, but it's just all good for just insulin and glucose tolerance.
Okay, so say again, I'm sorry. So berberine,
magnesium glycinate.
And was that the thing about the insulin spikes, or was there a third thing that you mentioned?
Magnesium, then inositol.
Okay, inositol. All right.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Inositol. So, oh wait, no, it's magnesium threonate. Sorry, not magnesium glycinate, magnesium threonate, L-threonate. And then theanine is also another beneficial thing for it if you want to add another thing. L-theanine helps with, again, just getting into that deeper sleep so you recover better. I would not take melatonin. I am not a fan of supplementing melatonin. People throw that at their kids like crazy, and it can just mess with the body's natural production. And that's the thing about medicine. That's the thing about even taking anything. When you replace your body's natural production with an exogenous source, your body's going to downregulate. Our bodies are so smart in what they do. If it has too much of something, it will start making less. It's the same reason why when people get on TRT, when they get on like testosterone replacement therapy, or they start taking steroids, a lot of times their testicles will shrink because it stops producing testosterone. And then when they get off, they will have super low testosterone for a long time, and they'll end up getting a lot of fat, or they'll lose a lot of muscle because their testosterone levels naturally just are not the same. And a lot of times they can't even build it back. And so that's one of those things that I'm wary of with that. But it kind of just goes along. Be careful about what you're putting inside your body. I do want to go kind of back to why it was the personal training, the fitness and stuff like that very much gave me down the pathway, but also my mom. My mom was the hippy dippy one of the neighborhood. We were an ingredient household. And if anybody, like, if I say that and it resonates with anybody, like, everybody knows that they were an ingredient household, because it would be like, I'd go over to my friend's house and it was like Twinkies and Ding Dongs, and they had all the snacks and all the sugar cereal. And then you walk into my house and it's like, you want some food? We can grind some wheat. We can bake a loaf of bread. We'll be out in like 2 hours. But that was my mom. It was like vegetables and just all these things in the fridge that was, you had to make an actual meal. It wasn't just snacks. And that helped me to realize, because I was just all around a lot healthier. Even though like I fought against my mom, and I would go to Rancheritos and Beto's at 2 a.m. with my friends. I was like, oh, I'm going to be fine. And then I got out of the house and I realized I'm not exercising as much as I was. And that's when it really kind of set in. So yeah. So first things first with cancer, I would maximize my sleep. I would start taking those supplements, chili pad, grounding mat, and then blackout curtains. I would make sure that I have blackout curtains. I have blackout curtains right now. It makes a huge difference. And I would make sure that I went to bed at the exact same time every night. All right. I would not eat 2 to 3 hours before bed, before I went to sleep. I wouldn't eat anything. If I was like starving, I would maybe have like, I don't know, I used to drink this. It's like a MCT oil collagen protein shake. It's like hot chocolate, protein hot chocolate. I used to drink that every night, and honestly made me sleep amazing, because if you just have like protein and fat, your body's not going to be spiking your glucose like crazy. So if you have to have something, make sure it's proteins and fats, not a whole bunch of it either. You don't want something super heavy. I don't want my digestive system to be the one that's working the most. I want my body to be able to recover, focus all of its energy on trying to get my body to recover like I should while I sleep. So ideally I'd probably do like 10:30. And then
going to bed at 10 to 2.
Yeah. And I try to get anywhere from 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So,
okay. You wake up at 2 a.m. Can't go back to sleep. What do you do?
Oof.
If that's ever happened to you.
I can't even, like,
it happens to me all the time. That's
if
why
I'm waking
asking.
up, if I'm waking up at 2 a.m., it's probably because I'm stressing about a girl, or I'm stressing about something, and I just can't go to sleep there. And if it gets to that, number one thing I'll do is honestly read a book. I will put on my red light glasses, and because I will try to avoid like screens about 2 hours before bed. I'll put on my red light glasses, and I'll try to focus on getting myself kind of calmed down. I'll read a book, not like a book that's going to keep me like crazy involved either. It's usually going to be like a self-help book that I can, like, okay. And then that'll help me just get and that's another thing, like Sudoku. Sometimes I'll just play Sudoku. Like if I were to wake up, I have a Sudoku book by my bed. I'll pull it out. I'll start playing Sudoku a little bit. And those patterns help your body to get into, again, like a rhythm of where you can start sleeping better.
Okay. So if you do wake up in the middle of the night, try to do the same thing every time.
Yeah.
So then that might establish the pattern, and then you go to sleep quicker.
Our bodies love patterns. They love cues. It's like Pavlov's dog. You can train your body to, it's people who have woken up at 4:00 a.m. their entire lives. They're like used to going to bed at 8. They will say when they're off that schedule, like, because they have to be on that schedule, so they wake up for work. When they're off that schedule, it's terrible, because they're just like, yeah, I may go to bed at 1:00. I'm not going to sleep past 4. I'll maybe sleep till 4:30, but their body wakes up at 4.
Well, that's still 8 hours of sleep though, if you're going to bed at 8 or 8:30.
Yeah, but if they go to bed at like 1 in the morning, like on a weekend.
Oh, that's
thing.
when you're saying they're off their schedule.
Because
Gotcha.
they're off their schedule. And
Gotcha.
so like if they go to bed at 1 o'clock, they're still going to wake up at 4 because their body's like, hey, this is when you always wake up. It's time to go. And it becomes a problem. It's the same reason right now. Like I hate staying out past like 12. I'm super boring because midnight, I'm a pumpkin. I'm gone. I gotta be asleep. 11 o'clock, ideal. Love it. Like
What's your ideal bedtime?
10:30 to be in bed, asleep by 11 would be ideal for me. And then wake up between 6:30, 7 and head over to the office. So
cool. I like how you started the how I would cure cancer with getting proper sleep.
Yeah.
You didn't go to chemo. You didn't go to radiation. You didn't go to surgery. You didn't go to an oncologist. You said, hey, how's my sleep? And the reason being sleep is repairing. It repairs your body.
Yeah. There was a podcast that I listened to a while back. It was a couple years ago. It was one of the best CrossFit athletes that's ever performed. His name's Matt Frazier. He said if sleep, like if you didn't have to have sleep to live, it would be a performance enhancing drug. Because it is the most effective thing for your body's recovery, like for fitness, for everything. Sleep is the number one thing that we need. Everybody needs sleep. And if you can maximize it and get good sleep consistently, so many of your problems will go away because that's when your cortisol will start to lower. And that's the hard thing is so many of us in society, we live in this sympathetic dominant state where we're always stressed out. And sympathetic dominance, that's talking about the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. All right. And then there's parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. So if our body is always thinking I'm getting chased by a lion, why would it sleep for a long time? Why would it even get good sleep?
It would just be alert, even if you were resting.
Exactly.
I mean, your mind would be alert. You'd be.
Yeah. And I'm sure everybody has seen a podcast that has talked about like when you feel comfortable, you get tired. When you're with someone that makes you feel safe, you get very tired with them. If you're laying in bed, you'll fall asleep much faster. You'll sleep much deeper because you feel safe. And so your body's able to kind of turn off that I'm running away from a lion and go into the, okay, I'm safe here. And so that's one of those things is another thing that can help sleep as well is having a partner, someone that you feel safe with, someone that you love, that you're comfortable with.
You know, it's that makes a lot of sense. And it's interesting you say that. I have a 16-year-old at home, shared custody.
Yeah.
And these times when I do have, it's called maintenance insomnia, is I have no trouble falling asleep, but in the middle of the night, I might wake up and can't get back to sleep. But it seems like when he's in the house, that happens more often. And then the first night he's with his mom, I sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Probably because, I'm not on alert that, my kid needs protection.
Yeah.
Even though he's at this point bigger than me and stronger than me anyway. But
it's still, you naturally have that. You want to protect.
That instinct.
There's an instinct of protection that's going to be there. And yeah, so there's, again, very first thing, sleep. Easiest thing.
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
What I was going to just clarify, but if you're ready to move on beyond sleep.
Yeah.
For people who don't know grounding pads, now let me try to explain it. You tell me if I'm right. So grounding is when you're actually in touch with the earth. If you're walking on concrete, if you're standing in a home, you're not in touch with the earth. I mean, you might have the sun hit you through the windows, but if you're walking barefoot through the grass, not on a walking path of concrete or blacktop, but if you're walking in the grass barefoot, you're grounding.
Yeah.
And right. And the idea being, I believe that it stimulates electrons in your body because you're in touch with nature and the earth. Can you explain better?
So much of what we do, phones, Bluetooth, things like that, it creates a lot of EMF. And there's a lot more studies coming out on the effects that EMF has on
which is
in your body system,
your
electromagnetic force.
Okay.
So like the electromagnetic radiation that we get from these different devices, our body and our cells are affected by that on a very cellular level. And so grounding can actually help to discharge some of that, if that makes sense. So if I'm always detached from the earth, it's just not good for me. And so that's one of those things. And you'll notice a difference. I noticed a huge difference when I started sleeping on it. Like I can't sleep not on that pad anymore.
That's very cool.
And if I don't have it, if I'm on vacation, I'll usually just walk outside for a little bit, take off my shoes, just stand in the dirt, stand in the grass or something.
So the grounding pad on your bed recreates that environment that you're laying on the grass outside.
Yeah, it's trying to kind of copy that. So it's plugged into the grounding, like the grounding hole in the outlet.
It's the mouth hole with the two eyes and the mouth.
Yeah, it's the mouth hole. I plug it into the mouth hole.
Plug it into the mouth hole, Dr.
Plug it in the mouth
Cutler.
hole, and then it pulls out, and yeah, it just helps to. And there's a lot of good research on it, and I'm a sucker for research. I love reading papers and new things. The hard thing when it comes to research, and everybody will say this, you can find a research paper that proves any point. You have to look at the biases, and so often when it comes to someone who says, well, I'm science-based, I'm evidence-based, and they will reference studies, the hard thing is it's who's paying for these and where is the money for research coming from? Because to put together effective research studies is expensive. And who has the most money? A lot of times it's going to be pharmaceutical companies who have very big stakes in the fact that we need these drugs or the things that we do to be more effective. And
they have money and an agenda.
Yes, money and agenda. And that's the hard thing is it's capitalism at its core is supposed to be, and I'll kind of reference Atlas Shrugged is my favorite book. I have a tattoo on my biceps from Atlas Shrugged. And in Atlas Shrugged, it talks about like people who are just producers, people who are trying to solve a problem. And one of the things is they're trying to work themselves out of work. They want to fix the problem because then they're going to go and create a new solution for another problem. They don't want to just create a Band-Aid that just creates a problem and a partial solution that will just create a circle. They want to create more. I want to fix this problem so that I have to go and create another solution for another problem. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
They're just people that produce solutions. And that is not what medicine is right now. Medicine is no longer about creating solutions. A lot of times it's more about creating a dependency because that's where most of the money comes from.
Right.
Because at the very bottom dollar of it is that there is more money in people being sick than more money in people being well. And you mentioned the wellness, someone talking about we need to shift more from healthcare and more towards wellness care. And we absolutely do. Our bodies functioning optimally is the best thing. So sorry, I'm getting off in the weeds with this. So I'll go, we talked about sleep. We talked about the things that I would do for sleep. It's just the easiest thing to do. Sleep is the easiest. It's the easiest thing to control.
It really is because there's not a lot of habits you're changing, except maybe the time you go to bed.
Yeah.
And maybe buying a chili pad and a grounding pad, which aren't very expensive because I priced those out. They're like $100 a piece or so.
Yeah. Don't play video games before bed. That's another thing.
Right. And that's another thing is the screens.
Movies, video games, just it'll mess with your
and maybe the supplements if people consider those.
Okay.
So there you go. Sleep, boom.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could put, or if you can, I don't know if you can, put a number on the importance
out
of sleep.
10.
No, I understand 10 out of 10. No, I understand it's important. But out of the cure for cancer.
Number 1.
I understand that. But what percentage of sleep, like, I'm sure there's a lot of things you're going to talk about besides sleep. But if people only did sleep, like what percentage of that might be helpful toward curing cancer?
We're talking about the 100% is like, this is the cure for cancer.
This is everything.
What percentage is
sleep? Yeah.
I mean, it's for sure the biggest one. But I have to talk about these other ones too. I mean, honestly, it's probably like 30, 40%.
30, 40%. That's big. That's huge.
Well, sleep is that's where your body does all the things that it needs. That's where it calms down. That's where it fixes cells. That's where it gets rid of old cells. That's where it really does a lot of because you're no longer thinking. Your body's no longer trying to have your brain think through everything that you're going through during the day. Sleep is where your body is actually able to like recover and do those processes that it needs to actually, be well. So number 2 would definitely be nutrition and diet. Again, that would be my number 1 besides sleep. That would be the second, and it's the second most important for sure, is just like fix your diet. I would I am already pretty anal about what I eat. I'm a creature of habit. I like my meals. Um,
And you had good habits from your mom. That's awesome.
yeah,
That helps.
ish. Like
Okay.
my mom and I eat very differently now. But if I were to have cancer, I would go completely carnivore.
The reason being,
The reason being is cancer cells are rapidly reproducing cells. So metastasis is uncontrolled reproduction of cells. So yeah, like metaplasia is just it's reproduction of cells where they just constantly reproduce and there's no control to it, and that's what creates tumors.
Hmm.
So like hyperplasia would be just like controlled growth of the cells. So like if I'm growing muscle, most of the time we don't grow muscle through hyperplasia unless we're children and we're still growing more muscle cells. Most of the time it's hypertrophy, which is just growth of the actual like muscle cells getting bigger, more of those microfilaments. But the plasia, that refers to the cells. So metaplasia or metastasis is like uncontrolled growth of those cells. Those require glucose, so sugar, to reproduce and to actually have energy to grow. And so if I'm constantly just putting processed garbage into my body and sugar and carbs, and those cells are going to reproduce very fast. And that's the other hard thing. If you ever go into a hospital and you see someone who is in a hospital bed, undergoing like pretty intensive chemo, what is the hospital food they're getting? And if anybody's had like,
I don't know that they're getting a lot of steak.
They're getting a lot of highly processed cereals and sugary things and jello and pudding. And like, I remember I went just recently, my grandpa passed away, and I was in there looking at like the food that they were giving him, and it was like M&Ms and just sugary things that just feed these different disorders that we have, and they feed cancer for sure. And it's a difficult thing for me, is I'm just like, why are we not in the hospital, in the place people are supposed to be getting better? Why are we not addressing this? Which food is medicine. Food is everything. That's how your body builds, and that's how your body repairs. Like where you're sleeping, your body is using the food that you ate to repair tissue. And so if I just have a whole bunch of crappy building blocks, what's my body going to do?
Yeah, and you mentioned you don't want to go into the weeds, but I'm going to go into the weeds a little bit.
Let's go into the weeds.
And then I have a question for you about the sugar and the fast growing cells. I wonder, so you're talking about the hospital giving your grandfather M&Ms and Jello.
Yeah.
And I know you don't have an answer for this because you're not a mind reader, or maybe you are. I don't know.
I wish.
If there's a mind reader out there, I'd like to have them on as a guest. Do you think the hospital knows that sugar is doing badly? Meaning they're giving that kind of stuff. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I don't know. I've wondered that myself. Is the hospital doing it on purpose to keep them sick? Or, here's an or, are they doing it because they know it's comfort food and they know that hospitals are stressful situations? And let's give your grandpa some chocolate because it's going to calm him down a little bit. I don't have the answer. I don't know what the answer is, but I think it's a good brain space question that we can ask ourselves. And you were talking earlier about the studies and the motivations and the biases. I think in 2025, we are more mature as far as not always just trusting the big institutions anymore. You know, we're kind of moving away from, or a lot of us are moving away from that. Some people are still sticking there. And just because we're questioning doesn't mean that we're saying they're wrong. It just means that, you know, we're kind of questioning. So that's one of my questions that I ask myself is, if glucose is bad for cancer patients, if glucose is bad for sick people, why are they giving us glucose and added sugars on purpose? I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? Or
I want to be careful not to say that glucose is bad for, it's a lot of times it's the processed garbage and stuff like that, because your body will break down carbohydrates into glucose. Glucose it goes down like the glycolysis and all through like Krebs cycle and things like that. So glucose is your body's most prevalent source of energy, but when there's so much glucose in your body built up and available, those rapidly producing cells will utilize it for that, because your body will actually use the kind of glycogen-based proteins. So there's certain amino acids that will actually be broken down into glucose. Parts of them can be broken down to glucose, but the process is a lot longer. It's the same thing with like fats. they're taken through a lot longer process to try and create the same outcome as glucose. So it's not necessarily that glucose is bad. It's just too much and very easily absorbed glucose. So white sugar, processed garbage, stuff like that is just immediate glucose. That's what you should avoid.
So processed foods and the M&Ms have added sugar.
Tons of it.
So it's the added sugar too that's bad, right?
Added sugar, yeah. I mean, processed, bleached, yeah.
Now, what is processed foods exactly? Is that like manufactured, like anything that's not from an animal?
Anything that's typically, even some animal products are processed. I mean, look at like a hot dog. Oh. That is the ultimate process. I mean, it's just a conglomerate.
But that's still kind of man-made though. Like,
it is man-made.
There's no hot dog in a pig. Like we take pig things and make hot dogs.
You throw it together and you kind of create this thing out. So like processed, they typically, what they'll do is they'll run it through a whole bunch of different things, like canola oil. Vegetable oil is the ultimate like example I have for this. Is when it comes to vegetable oil, which they put in everything, and they're just like, oh, it's from vegetables, it should definitely be good. It's not good. What they do is they just take a whole bunch of extra leftover whatever they have, and they just run it through a machine that heats it up super hot, and then they crush it and they compress it, and it squeezes out this thing. If you've ever watched, if anybody ever is watching this, wants to see what canola oil looks like when it's being processed, it is crazy. Like it's like this gray sludge at one point, and somehow they heat it up and squish it, heat it up and squish it, heat it up and squish it until it's this like golden liquid. And that's the vegetable oil that we cook with. And that's the process. The processing is anything that we have to heat up super hot and just like kill all of the kind of nutrients in there. That's why like everyone's on this anti-seed oil kick. It's not that seed oils are bad, it's that processed seed oils are bad. Like people can fight on this, and it's not that things are bad. It's about, okay, how is this affecting my body? Can your body handle it well? There's so many different aspects that control that, but I'm getting, again, in the weeds.
I pulled you off there. I asked you about the glucose.
With the hospitals, if a hospital, and why are they giving that food? I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's comfort food. It's also the cheapest. Those foods are the cheapest. Yeah. They have to pay the least amount. It's a lot harder for them to keep fresh food coming in than to have a whole bunch of processed food that can stay on the shelves for a long time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Again, it's the hard thing with hospitals. It's very much about money.
And it's kind of the hard thing with consumers too, because all the sugar and processed foods taste great and they're cheap.
Yes, exactly.
So we understand, we like I'm part of the big secret club now. But I think all of us understand.
Yeah.
I think all of us understand why, it's hard for people to eat better. I mean, really, that's no excuse. I mean, you're either going to eat healthy or you're not, but it is an obstacle, I think. Because
I'll be honest, eating healthy and eating the way I do, I usually spend a lot less than someone would. And they'll be like, no way, because you pay this much for meat and stuff. It's like, yeah, but I don't ever go out to eat. I hate going out to eat because I don't know what's in that. And yeah, it sounds super boring. I'll go every once in a while, like if I'm on a date. But even on dates, I prefer to cook.
Well, I did carnivore about 1.5 years ago. And since then, and I'll admit that I'm sometimes better at it than others. I'll call myself an 80-20 carnivore eater. But when I'm eating right, when I'm eating carnivore, I don't get that hungry.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can eat once a day. And sometimes I fast. Like sometimes I'll do a 2 or 3 day fast. And I feel fine because my body's not craving all that added sugar and all the processed things. Because as I understand it, our stomachs have bacteria that gets used to certain foods.
Yes.
So if it gets used to animal proteins and fats, that's what it's going to crave. It's not going to crave Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, which are 2 of my favorites. But as far as if you're eating healthy, it can be cheaper because you're not eating as much and you're not, steaks can be a little bit expensive, but otherwise, I think most carnivore foods are almost as affordable as just crappy foods, and you're not eating as much of them, and you feel better.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, and if you're like, I'm pretty strict, you're also not buying a bunch of snacks. Snacks are where people spend the majority of their money.
$5 a bag for Doritos.
Yeah, you're paying a ton of money for these different snacks, and you may say, oh, it's so expensive to eat healthy. It's just like, but you're paying with your snacks plus your meal, you're paying $14 for your meal when you could have that. You could pay $7 for a meal. That's pretty solid. So in terms of that, when it comes to carnivore, I mean, I would go full carnivore just in terms of like, I wouldn't add anything else in. And then as I started to like, if I went in, had my body checked, and if it was kind of in remission, I would maybe start adding back in like fruits. I would add in berries and things like that. That's one of those things because they do have antioxidants in them. They do have extra vitamins that your body can utilize very well. I'm a huge fan of fruits. So yeah, first I would go very strict carnivore. It was just a lot of meat, animal products, fat, because my body will go into ketosis a lot, which I will end up eating through a lot of things, and it will starve a lot of those cancer cells that are trying to rapidly grow, because now your body has to take a lot longer, which is why when people who do keto can fast for a long time, it's because when your body's in ketosis, it utilizes your fat stores. It also uses like your muscle stores if you're not eating enough, but it'll utilize like your fat stores. That's why people lose so much weight on keto, is that's what your body does. And so if my body's utilizing those fat stores, it'll kind of starve out those cancer cells. And that's the other thing I would do. I would go carnivore and I would fast. I would fast at least 1 day a week. Some days I would probably do a 2 or 3 day fast. And then I'd probably try a 5-day fast like once a month. And I would just try to be strict with that. I would still exercise. I would recognize that during the time while I was, if it was pretty bad cancer, I probably wouldn't be trying to grow a whole bunch of muscle. I'd be trying to maintain the muscle that I have. I'm not overly muscled. I have enough. But I try and maintain. I would still weight train, not as at the intensity that I do right now. But I would weight train, and I'm not a huge cardio person. I'll be honest, just all the studies that I've done, cardio is just not as important as weight training. Weight training is just much better for your body in terms of just adaptations that you make. Like when older people tell me, oh, I walk every day, and it's like the number one thing you should be strength training, especially ladies who are postmenopausal. Like, lift weights. If you want to not have osteopenia or osteoporosis, lift weights. If you want to be healthier, one of the number one signs of like longevity and like being able to do the things you want to do for longer is how much lean muscle mass do you have. And so, yeah, lean muscle mass.
And you get that from lifting and not from
cannot
walking.
get that from cardio.
Got it.
Okay.
Even jogging.
No, you're going to lose weight with jogging. You might strengthen your legs a little bit. You're not going to gain more lean muscle though. It's just one of those things. You have to put stress in those certain ways to cause that. So I'm not a cardio person anymore. I hardly ever, I'll do cardio mainly in jujitsu, and then like I'll do a little bit of cardio and like a warm up at the gym, but most of the time, and if I want to do more cardiovascular, I will lift weights faster.
Okay. Yeah. Cause that'll build up your heart rate. I want to go back to fasting for a second, cause that's another thing that I've been interested in and doing the last 3 months. I have done a 110-hour fast, which I think is 4.5 days. I did an 87-hour fast, and I did I think it was about 50 or 55. And I've done 24-hour fasts. Too many I can count.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, and well, you already know. I will tell the audience. Well, I'll tell you too. You can listen in. Why I do it, and it's really fascinating. And jump in here if you've got if I leave something out.
Yeah.
So I've heard for years that people fast in order to cleanse. That, you're getting rid of the food that's in there, and you're giving your body a rest. You're letting your digestive system reset itself, because if you're feeding it 3 times a day, it's constantly in motion and it's constantly working, and it doesn't need to, in the sense that we weren't designed for that. So I've always known that. But the last few months I've been researching fasting, and after certain lengths of fasting, certain things in your body start to kick in. And this is really what got me interested in it. I believe it's after 24 hours you go into autophagy, or maybe it's 36. And then I think at 48 hours, your immune system amps up. And it also starts your human growth hormone faster than, so like your body is, the first couple days, your body's like, feed me, feed me, feed me. And then your body says, after a couple days of not eating, okay, this person's not going to feed me. I need to keep this person alive. So I'm going to do things within the body that's going to, and that sold me right there. I was like, okay, I understood the cleanse and the weight loss. That's cool. But this whole thing about if you go, and you don't even have to go that long. And I could have gotten the days wrong, but like at certain points during the fast, certain things in your body just make you Superman.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why you don't feel hungry, because my hardest time when I do those longer fasts is the first day.
Yeah.
By day 3, you're not even hungry anymore. And you're sleeping way better and you're alert all the time and you're really not even thinking about food. Did I get all that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, autophagy and the eating of old cells is amazing. Like that, your body needs that. When your body can stop focusing on storing and creating new cells, it can eat the old things. So it's like going through, when you're building, let's say you're building a city and it's rapidly building, like you're like here or wherever you are, like when things are building super, super fast and you still have all of these like infrastructure down low that's still kind of broken. It's not built for everything else. Eventually you're gonna have some problems and you're gonna have to like, that makes sense. Like let's say you build around a big road and it's a 2-lane road. And now you build all these houses around it. It's gonna get so backed up with traffic that you're not gonna be able to like really use it. And everyone's gonna hate it. So now you're gonna have to do a big project to try and fix that. Think about that. Let's say that your body is trying to grow and it's trying to get stronger. And you haven't really let your body break down those old roads and build new roads that are bigger. All right, that's kind of the same thing. If we never give our body the opportunity to break down and get rid of old stuff, that old stuff's still going to be underneath. And we're going to be building kind of like a crappy foundation.
Which also goes back, and again, I'm not trying to get all conspiracy theory about everything, but you know, I think it's come out now that the food pyramid was a scam. That 50 years ago, the government was influenced by, I guess it was the farmers or the grain manufacturer or whatever, which is why that bottom layer is cereals and grains, when in reality it should be on top, if anywhere.
Yeah.
Which you know, I've grown up, and you probably have too. Well, not in your household because your mom was more responsible. But you know, we're always told eat 3 meals a day. Always eat breakfast.
Oh, that was the same as us.
Yeah. Okay. And
this is the most important meal of the day. My dad's a farmer. Grew up in Idaho, and like he was between Idaho and Missouri, but he was meat and potatoes, and like you eat oatmeal because it sticks to your ribs. And now I've realized oatmeal does not stick to your oatmeal. It makes you so hungry throughout the day. You get way more hungry. Like it's just the best thing to eat in the morning for anybody is probably like eggs, like an omelet. It's just great, good proteins, good fats. I mean, unless you're allergic to eggs or something like that.
Well, that's another thing about the eggs. I don't know if you remember this. I guess it was about 20 years ago. We were told that the yolks were bad for you.
Yeah.
And only eat the egg whites.
Cholesterol is bad for you.
Right.
Cholesterol, every single hormone in your body, like your hormones are built off cholesterol. Like you have to have cholesterol. And they're just like, well, cholesterol creates plaques. I would argue on that. I think what creates plaques is an overabundance of glucose and overabundance of sugar and bleached chemicals in our body that create reactions that store plaque. I don't think it's cholesterol that creates that. And the hard thing too, when it comes to like norms for everyone in the US, is we are taking what is the norm in the US. It's not as healthy of a person. And now we're comparing everybody to that. What is the average? The average is not very good. I think it's in like 20, 30, 60% of Americans are supposed to be obese. If we're comparing the normal people and how their body functions and their levels of different things in their body compared to someone who's obese in this regard, it's going to be a little bit different. Everybody's body's different. There's a bio-individuality to everybody. And so some things may work for you that don't work for me. And a lot of that comes down to like, okay, where's your ancestry from? So there's so many factors that we need to play into instead of trying to put people into categories and saying, you all fit right here. you all fit right here. This is going to be the same one for because it's easier to make money if everybody's the same.
If you make generalizations.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's also too, going back to carnivore and fasting. Because I'm in preventative care myself. I'm young enough to feel like I got a lot of decades ahead.
Yes.
But I'm also old enough to say, okay, I can't eat the way I ate when I was a teenager. I mean, I could, but now sometimes I feel the effects. And honestly, I think that's why sometimes I get the insomnia in the middle of the night, because if I am having the questionable foods, it might be waking me up in the morning.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's back to carnivore and fasting. I think, what did we do 1,000 years ago? We didn't have a Walmart on every corner.
Yeah.
We didn't have Doritos and potato chips and King Dons and Mountain Dew and all the things we love and all the things we're used to eating because everybody else eats them. But what did we have? We had animals roaming the earth. We had plants. But I would imagine, again, I'm not a mind reader, but I can imagine our ancestors see an animal walking around. They go, oh, I'll kill that and eat it. Probably more so than, oh, there's a green thing sitting in the ground, I'll eat that. And they did that too eventually, the agricultural age. But like, what's the first instinct is eating an animal that's walking around, and you can eat every piece of it.
Yes.
And here's another thing I've heard. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. Is the fermenting process is actually the animal going bad. And you can still eat that. Like, even if and I'm not recommending this to anybody out there, but that even if you find an animal that's got maggots already eating it, you can still eat that animal because it's to a point. Am I missing something? You look perplexed. Or you look like I'm an idiot.
I don't want to weigh in on that because I don't want someone to try and do,
Okay, well, I didn't say
I wouldn't recommend eating something that has maggots in it. But yeah, the thing about human stomachs, and you brought this up earlier, our body will, if I eat more meat, my body will produce more bacteria, like good bacteria, like the biotic life inside my gut, and enzymes that break down that protein faster. If I eat more carbohydrates, my body will go for enzymes that break down carbohydrates faster. Our bodies are so smart at doing that. So like, let's say, like, I remember I saw this thing about a guy who he was trying to kill himself. So he just started eating raw chicken. And because everyone's always, well, salmonella, you'll die. And he ended up fixing a lot of his problems with his gut. The human stomach is more acidic than like a dog's stomach. So technically we can digest. We are the perfect carnivore, to be honest. Our bodies are very carnivorous. We can get everything we need from red meat, and our bodies are very good at digesting stuff. So yeah, there's so many things, and I don't want to make any big claims without having, but it is one of those things that, we have completely gone away from what our bodies for tens of thousands of years, our ancestors ate a certain way, which was, it was feast and famine. During certain seasons, we had a lot of food. During other seasons, we didn't have a lot of food. So our bodies would store up fat and then get really good at burning that fat for storage when we didn't have as much food present. And then there's cold exposure and things like that. And that goes into the other things that I would do. So number one, sleep. Number two,
food.
Diet. I go carnivore.
And sorry, real quick. So anybody considering a carnivore diet, they have no idea what it is or how to get started. What's your recommendation?
Beef. Beef, steak, like fatty steak. You want to be getting
ribeyes,
a lot of stuff from, like ribeyes, just stuff that has like good fat. If you can go for the like grass fed, grass finished, if you can find like a local ranch that has it, it's awesome. It's the most ideal thing you can do. Liver's not a bad thing. I mean, there's all this stuff about like Liver King. Liver has a ton of vitamins and nutrients in it. So eating like grass-fed, grass-finished liver, but also another thing you can add into, but it's typically very lean. You're not going to get as much of the fat, like elk steak, right? Game meats. Those are things that are definitely not going to have, even bear. It's more fatty, but that's good for people who are on carnivore diet. They need fat.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
So as far as going to the store, they buy ground beef and steaks.
Yeah.
The fattier, the better. So that's even the ground beef, because I've seen, ground beef where it says 92%
ground
lean.
Beef, I would go with.
It seems to me like it should be 70% lean, 30% fat, or what? Like, You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah,
lot of these say 92% lean, and it's like,
that's the thing in the grass-fed, grass-finished cows. They're not going to have as much fat on them typically
oh,
as
okay.
opposed to like your corn-fed, because that's what they do. They just pump these cows full of just a whole bunch of stuff to try and get them fattened up, and then they end up having a lot more fat in it, and so they have a lot higher fat content in that meat when it's processed. So yeah, I'd definitely go for just a high quality meat. I'd probably go steaks. I'd probably just go steaks or roasts or just fatty cuts of meat. Um, and I'd still do eggs personally.
And so the carnivore diet says you just eat those things
Yep,
if you
and
want.
butter and bone marrow. Like bone marrow is phenomenal.
Is that
Bone
the bone
marrow.
broth? Is that the same thing?
No, so
Oh,
bone broth is not bad. That's like you cook the bones, you like cook out all the protein stuff and all
okay.
the nutrients from the bone, like let it steep. The bone marrow is where you actually like cook the bone marrow, and it has a lot of fat inside of it, and it is delicious. And then salt. I would do not, if you're ever going to go carnivore, you have to make sure you get enough electrolytes, salt, and I would definitely take an electrolyte supplement with it. Um, but salt the crap out of your food. Our bodies are so good at processing out salt as long as you drink enough water.
And it's not table salt. It's like the
No,
real mineral salt, like
yeah,
the
mineral sea salt,
Celtic
mineral
salt.
salt, Celtic salt. I mean Redmond Farm salt, and there's more things coming out about like, oh well, they have arsenic and different levels of lead, and you know everything's gonna kill you at some point. Like we're all gonna die. Um, just make sure you're getting enough in terms of the electrolytes and that, because it's gonna make it a lot easier for you to handle things, and every cell in your body needs potassium and sodium to function, especially your neurology. That's super huge for that.
Okay, perfect. So, and that goes back to saying carnivore is expensive or eating healthy is expensive. Well, if you're only buying 4 or 5 items,
Oh yeah,
you're not buying 20 items every time you
yeah,
go to the store. And it's quicker to get in and out of the store.
yeah. You're not
Um,
buying all these different things to make one meal. It's, hey, this is my meal.
yeah. And like I said, like when I am eating carnivore full time or mostly full time, I really don't crave that stuff too much. Like I love the taste of pizza and spaghetti and tacos, but the more I'm doing carnivore, I'm just not that tempted by it. And it's, it's not easy. I think for me anyway, it was more mental than physical
Yeah,
because everybody says, oh, when you start eating carnivore, you'll just naturally want to. I kind of didn't. Like I had to get it in my mind again. What did our people do 1,000 years ago? That's what sold me. And that's what flipped my ability to do carnivore is not just, oh, it's healthier, it's better for you, it's animals. It's the idea of this is what we were made for.
yeah,
The feast and famine, which goes into the fasting.
yeah.
Um, and I'd like to weigh in on that. So anybody thinking about the fasting, if they want to try it or do it, and again, I'm not a medical professional, I'm just sharing what I did. I started off with the intermittent fasting, and that was hard at the time. Looking back, I'm like, that's nothing. But intermittent fasting is when you only eat during a certain amount of time. So for me, I picked 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's 8 hours. That's called a 16-8 intermittent fast. So you're eating for 8 hours and then you don't eat for 16 and then you eat during 8. So I did the 16-8. Some people do 24, so they only eat during a 4-hour period. I liked the flexibility of 11 to 7. That's just my times. And I've been doing that for like 6 years now. But that was hard because I was so used to eating 3 meals a day or snacking during the day. So it was hard not to eat those first couple days of 16 hours. That's hard.
Yeah.
And the way you get around that is drink a ton of water early and often and put Celtic salt in it. That's what I do. When I do those longer fasts, that 87-hour fast, the 110-hour fast, I would drink a lot of water and I would put Celtic salt in it. That really curbs your hunger
Yes.
in a big way. So for people, go ahead.
It also staves off the like headaches.
Oh, right.
People who are getting into like the ketogenic diet, which that's carnivore is ketogenic. If I go carnivore, I'm doing the keto diet because you're putting your body into ketosis, and ketosis is what your body is in while you're fasting. If your body can get into ketosis, that's when you can fast for multiple days. That's why you're like, oh, I'm not even hungry anymore, because when your body's in ketosis, it's eating your fat stores, and so that again is what I'd be trying to do with that. And intermittent fasting is even easier on a ketogenic type diet,
Mm-hmm.
like carnivore.
It is.
Because you're not spiking your glucose as soon as, and your body's like, oh my gosh, I'm finally have this, and it's kicking you out of ketosis. You're staying in ketosis the entire time, even when you eat.
Right. Yeah. And once I did the intermittent fasting for a while, my next thing was 24-hour fast, and that was kind of scary at first, because I'm used to eating 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner. But so you're skipping one. But once you do the 24, that's so. I guess my point is, anyone considering fasting, if they want to jump right to a 4 or 5 day fast, go for it. If you think you can handle it, if you're healthy enough to do it or have the mental capacity. But I couldn't. Like, I had to ease my way into those longer fasts. But now I look back at doing a 24-hour fast or an intermittent fast. Like, at the time, it was really hard the first time. I mean, those are nothing. Doing another 110-hour fast might be kind of challenging still. But anyway, I just really love that lifestyle. And that makes food cheaper too when you're not eating.
Yes. Yep. Makes it a lot cheaper. You can focus more on the other things that you need to. Yeah, you're not stressed out about food either. It's another thing. People stress out about food a lot. Stress out about like, when's the next time I get to eat? Especially people who have dieted before. I have a lot of friends in my circle who have done shows, who've done bodybuilding shows and things like that, and they develop an attitude of like, when do I get to eat next? They're always looking forward to their next meal. When's the next time I get to eat? And when you get rid of that, it frees up your mind and your time and your energy for so many other things. Because your body's not just like, okay, I have to wait till 6 o'clock till I can have my next meal. I have to do this. It's just, you take that out of the equation.
That's a great point, because the days I'm doing a full fast, I have so much more time to do things. Because think about it, like if you're preparing food, maybe that's 15, 20 minutes. And then you're eating it, that's probably 30 minutes. So that's about an hour at least.
Yeah.
Let's say per meal. And if you're eating 3 meals a day, that's 3 hours a day. And if you had an extra 3 hours a day when you're not eating, you get a lot more done.
Yeah.
My days feel so long when I'm doing those longer fasts. Okay, so you had sleep. So if you got cancer and you were going to cure it, or actually you equated it to this is your lifestyle. I mean, this is how I live anyway. But if I got cancer, this is what I would do. So all the healthy sleeping, all the healthy eating. Did we cover everything about the eating?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you started talking about something else.
There's sleeping, there's eating, there's fasting.
Right.
Which I would definitely be doing the fasting. I mean, exercise, of course. I talked a little bit about that. I would still strength train at least 4 days a week. I probably do 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. 45 minutes to an hour. You don't need a ton. I just want to maintain my lean muscle and not let your body just get all destroyed with it. And this is the thing for me personally. I wouldn't do the chemo route, just because I just wouldn't. I've seen too many studies. I've had too many family members that have done it, and I just watched it destroy their body. And
now tell us what chemo is. Chemotherapy.
In essence, we're taking chemicals and we're trying to pretty much just destroy all of those cells.
All the cancer cells.
We're just trying to destroy all the cancer cells, but in destroying those cancer cells, we're destroying a lot of the good cells as well. So you're wiping the body out. And so when people are on chemotherapy, a lot of times the reason they have to stay in the hospital is because they become completely immunocompromised. You destroy your immune system. Your body is no longer able to fight off things, so you have to stay in a sterile environment. And yeah, I mean, it's the same reason why they lose their hair. It kills all the hair cells.
And their fingernails.
And your fingernails and things like that. I would want to just let my body do its thing, because cancer's been around for a long time. It's been around, and other Eastern medicine has dealt with it in different ways, and they've used herbal supplements and things like that. So yeah, I would avoid chemotherapy for me personally. That's what I would do.
All right.
And then I'm not telling anybody to do that or to stop theirs. Like, of course, go to whoever your practitioner is and work with them on things. It's just me personally.
Gotcha.
That's what I would do.
What about surgery?
That is one of those things. Like, let's say you have a tumor. You have a tumor that's just like, okay, we might need to take this out. In certain cases, if I had like a big tumor, I'd probably tell them like, yeah, hey, we can try and take it out. And then I would go really hardcore, depending on where it was. Again, it's very much depending on a situation. Like, is it inside one of my vital organs? Something like that. How extensive is the surgery going to be? What am I looking at? So it's very much a case by case in terms of the surgery. If it's not going to be that crazy of a surgery, it's not that bad. I'd probably go with surgery. I wouldn't do the chemo with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. And I remember I remember one of the things you started talking about was lowering the cortisol. And I think we can achieve that by deep breathing or.
Yes, that would be my next thing. We
Okay.
talk about like, so we have sleep, um, like nutrition. We sleep, the supplements for sleep, the nutrition, how you eat, a little bit of exercise, and then meditation. Our bodies, again, are amazing, and being mindful and really focusing the energy that you have within yourself to like, hey, and that's one thing that I want people to educate yourself on what's going on. If you have cancer, educate yourself about, okay, what is the process that's happening? So I understand on a cellular level, what is my body doing right now? And then when I meditate, I want to think, okay, what does my body have to do to heal? And it sounds very woo-woo, but it's the same thing. Like, it's a mind muscle connection. If I'm lifting weights and I have someone tapping like if I'm doing like a lateral raise or something like that, I have someone tapping my shoulder, I'm going to be so much more aware of that muscle and what it's doing. Why would that not work the exact same for the cells inside your body? If I have a cancer cell and I go and I meditate for 30 minutes, I'm doing deep breathing exercises and meditating and really hyperoxygenating my tissue, and that would be part of the meditation, is very deep breathing exercises like Wim Hof method.
I've heard of that. What is that?
So Wim Hof is I want to say he's like Norwegian or something. And it's a breathing method to pretty much just hyperoxygenate your tissue, allow you to be able to hold your breath for a long time, expel CO2, but it also helps with like cold exposure. Wim Hof, they call him the Iceman. He like swam under a frozen lake for 50 meters or something. Like, he has like the world record for it. He's hiked Mount Kilimanjaro multiple times in like shorts, boots, and a hat. He's just one of those guys who breathing is amazing, and oxygen and how your body utilizes oxygen is one of those things that is very under focused on in so many different things. So like meditation, it's not just thinking about things, it's breathing with it. So number one, I'm hyperoxygenating my tissue, and that would be part of my thing for myself, is I would spend at least 30 minutes a day meditating. And I would think about, okay, what is the process? Like, if I have a tumor on my spine, and I would think about, okay, what does my body have to do to get rid of those cells? What does my body have to do to deal with this?
And you imagine your white blood cells and your red blood cells and your immune system all going to your spine and just attacking it.
I would look into, okay,
and breaking up the
what is
tumor.
the process that has to happen? What is my body doing? What does my body need to know? And I'm going to try and educate my innate intelligence, because that's the thing. If we get into more of the psychology and also the philosophical side of things, everybody, whatever you call it, you have an innate intelligence within you, whether it's your soul, whether it's your spirit, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it innate intelligence. Somehow your body knows how to heal. If I cut my leg open, my body somehow knows, okay, I need platelets there. I need this cascade to create new tissue here. How does it know how to do that? Is it just like a clump of cells that just somehow does it? A bunch of chemical processes? Then why is it that energy and songs and stuff like that can affect how things grow, how plants grow? Our bodies are the same way. We're very affected by energies. If you're constantly around someone who's negative, you're going to be more negative. Your body's not going to do as well. If you're constantly around someone who's positive, your body's going to do a lot better. You're going to feel a lot better about yourself. So positivity with the meditation, telling your body, hey, do this, do this, do this. That's what I would do.
Got it. Okay, so we got the sleep, we got the nutrition, self-mastery,
yes,
which is part of the breathing. Exercise.
Meditation.
So self-mastery is the Wim Hof method and the deep breathing.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't always have to be the Wim Hof method. That's just one.
Just one of the ways. Yeah. Okay.
So just a breathing method with meditation, at least 30 minutes. I'd probably go for like an hour, probably 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night. And then I would add cold exposure. I would for sure do cold exposure. I'm a big fan when it comes to like just overall well-being. And there's a lot more people coming out saying, well, cold exposure is not good if you're trying to gain muscle. If I had cancer, I wouldn't be in the mode of trying to build muscle. I would be more in the mode of maintain the muscle I have and clean out my body, have a reset on things. And so, yeah, just overall wellness, cold exposure is phenomenal for it.
And you can do that a number of ways.
Yeah. I mean, in my garage, I have a fridge. I have a freezer. it's like a top loading freezer, and we converted it into a cold plunge in my garage, and it sits at 38 degrees, and it is freezing. It is so cold, and during the winter, it sucks. All right, my poor neighbors have seen me in my underwear screaming way too many times. I go out, hop in there, and then like if there was snow outside, I literally just go. I'd hop out after like 3 to 5 minutes, go lay in the snow, just for kicks and giggles, and then I'd run back and get in the towel. My dog would just be there with me, and then my buddies would be sitting there laughing. Like,
Now I've heard. Well, I love that. I'm sure your neighbors love that. I've heard too that the cold. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. That another thing it does is when your body gets really cold, your blood rushes to all your major organs.
Yes.
Because again, it's going into survival mode.
Yes.
It's like something's going on. I need to focus on again, the innate intelligence.
Yes.
So it goes and it oxygenates your heart and your lungs and your brain and your stomach and your liver and all those things. And that's good for it. And you were just talking about oxygen, doing the deep breathing and the meditation.
Yeah.
That's one way to get oxygen into your major organs.
Yes.
Is to get really cold.
Yes.
Out in the snow, laying in the snow.
Yeah. That's why when people do deep breathing exercise, they usually can handle cold exposure better.
Oh, okay.
It's because you have more oxygen in your tissue, and so like you can handle it for longer.
And then when you get out of that cold environment and your body starts to warm up again, the blood then rushes back out to the outer parts. So it's really like you're using your blood and your own oxygen as a cleanse.
Yes.
Like it's cleansing on the inside and then it's coming out to the outside.
Very good for your arteries as well. So like arterial and arterial and venous health, like circulatory health. It's very good for that because when I'm cold, my vessels constrict because they're trying to shunt all the blood back to my core to try and keep those things alive. Because I don't need my hands to survive. All right. I prefer to have them to survive. I don't need them to survive. All right. But my body needs all my organs, so it's going to shunt all the blood there. So the blood goes to my and so it helps with the smooth muscle in the walls of your arteries and your veins to go through the dilation, the constriction, because it actually works those muscles. And so that's also very healthy for your circulatory system, great for your heart.
That's cool.
And then there's also the mental things, the neurological things of forcing yourself to do something that sucks. I like cold exposures first thing in the morning because then I start my day off doing something that I do not enjoy. I don't like them.
But you get past it.
Yeah, but you get past it. It's like, okay.
You beat it.
Nothing else today is going to be as hard as the fact that I got 38 degrees this morning.
Yeah.
And it's a rushing one too. So it has like a filter that constantly pumps the water. So it's cold. It's miserable. And we have the little rubber duckies in there too. And luckily they keep us company.
Cool.
But there's a lot of things that are said. Squirrel, where are your nuts? They're gone forever, sir. But gosh, are they warm. So, yeah. So,
and if somebody doesn't have a refrigerator in the snow and they want to do self-mastery, they can do the 30 to 60-minute meditations.
Yes.
And as far as I understand, I've done a little bit of meditations, and as far as I understand it, there's really no science behind it. Like the key is be comfortable. Like they generally recommend you do keep your eyes closed so there's no distractions.
Yeah.
But you can either lay down, you can sit cross-legged, you can have your hands in your lap, you can have your hands on the floor. The point is try not to move as much because again, that's going to create distractions. But other than keeping your eyes closed and being comfortable, you can have music or not, you can have meditation CDs or not. Like the whole point is just to be still.
Yeah.
And to be in your mind and let your mind just process whatever it needs to process. And I understand meditation also says, whatever thoughts come in, just let them come.
Yeah.
Like if something comes in and you start getting anxious about it, freaking out about it, just relax, just let it
go.
Let it marinate and then let it go.
Yeah. I have several friends I call myself kind of a hippie. I'm a weird sort of hippie, but that's the thing. A lot of my friends they'll have a tattoo on their wrist that says be still. And it's a very basic tattoo, but it really is just be still. Let your body chill. Like let the things come, let them out. And that would be the meditation part of things is learn how to clear your mind and that again comes back to cortisol. Don't stress. Learn how to de-stress in a way like that. Meditation's phenomenal for that. Even if your meditation is praying, for some people, meditation is praying. It's connecting with deity. it's praying to God or whatever deity you go for, or it's just trying to connect yourself. Breath work, again, we talked about like Wim Hof method, breath work classes, another phenomenal thing. So
breathwork what?
Breathwork,
Classes?
they have classes where they just run through breathwork
Oh,
and
okay.
they lead you through these breathwork things. And I've done them before. I've done one class, loved it. And I've had a lot of friends who have done them, like very intensive breathwork classes, and they'll tell you right to your face, like, oh yeah, you get sick, your body purges, you get high, you have a high feeling because your body gets high off of oxygen, and you live on this higher level for so much longer, and you hallucinate, and because your body just is flushing so many different things. So yeah, I would with the meditation, the breathing, I'd probably do some breath work as well, and that would be part of that.
Okay.
And then
What are your
exposure?
and cold exposure? What are your thoughts? So any other self masteries that you can think of?
Heat exposure as well.
Okay.
I would do
Kind of along the same the rationale of cold exposure that it's
heat,
extreme
heat
and
shock proteins and things like that, which your body is again, it's gonna hype your body up. It helps with the good hormones, growth hormone, things like that. That I want my body to help kind of have healthy levels of. Hormones are so important in your body, so I'd really focus on that. Trying to focus through that process. So yeah, I would do heat exposure, but I would do cold exposure probably daily.
Okay.
And heat exposure probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Okay. Any thoughts on ivermectin and fenbendazole?
Fenbendazole and ivermectin, both antiparasitic drugs, phenomenal drugs. And more research is being done on parasites in people, but there are a lot of people who have parasites and don't know about them. Parasites, tapeworms, things like that are affecting their body. And I do think there is a tie between cancer and these things. And so, yes, I would personally, I have taken ivermectin, and I noticed a big change just in how my body was functioning afterwards. Like my digestive system felt so much better. I took it for about 4 or 5 weeks, and like after 4 or 5 weeks, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but my body feels much better.
Were you taking it daily?
Yes.
I take it on and off, and anyone who's taken it probably takes it the same way. It comes in the little kind of gel thing.
Yeah.
And you put like a little toothpaste blob on your hand, and is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the daily process. Yeah. It's just one of those per day.
Yep.
Okay.
So gotcha. Did that. Along with it, I'd probably do an ozone enema probably once a week.
I was just going to get to cleansers. Okay. Talk about the ozone enema.
So I've done a coffee enema. I'll be honest.
Now, what is the coffee enema?
All right. This is one of those.
Come on now.
First time, it was one of my buddies convinced me to do a coffee enema. And I was just like, there's no way I'm putting it. And it was funny because you go and you look up online and you're like looking at like people's reviews or like people's opinions on coffee enema. And there was this thing on Reddit about coffee enemas. And there was a couple medical practitioners. They got on there and they're just like, this is so bad for you. You'll scald and burn your insides, and you'll create 3rd-degree burns inside of your. And I was like, you're not putting it in hot, dingus. Like, you cool it down first.
Yeah, it's coffee. It's not
maybe
hot coffee.
Lukewarm. It doesn't say it has to be scalded.
Hot coffee enema.
Coffee. Yeah. But yeah, so like, it was weird. It was weird for me.
I have a friend who does those and swears by them, and she keeps telling me to do it. I just can't get around to it.
Honestly.
But she swears by it. She loves it. She says it's so cleansing.
Yeah.
And you feel tons better.
Especially if you have, I think the harder thing for me when it comes to like, when I did it, I already am so 90-10, 95-10 with.
There wasn't much to cleanse, maybe.
I don't feel like there's a ton that I'm working with, and I had already done the ivermectin and things like that. And so, I feel like I was pretty cleansed in terms of things, but like I did feel a lot better. Like I did notice a difference just in my energy level. Like my brain fog was completely gone. I had a little bit of brain fog because I think I'd eaten peanut butter the day before, and I love peanut butter, but I can't eat it because I know it just destroys me. And
so talk about the ozone enema.
Ozone enema. Ozone is like my favorite thing in the world. Ozone's so cool. We should be doing ozone therapy for everything. So again, oxygen comes down to the power of oxygen. Every cell in your body needs oxygen to create ATP because mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, what do they use to create ATP? They have to have oxygen. So your electron receptor, like that, that's what helps with the electron transport chain to create ATP. And so ozone is O3, it's activated oxygen. And when you put that in your gut, number one, O3 is antifungal, antibacterial. So it will kill a lot of things. If you put it around like a tapeworm or a parasite, it will kill the tapeworm and parasite. All right. It'll go and it will kill it. They use ozone to sterilize hospitals and hospital rooms and surgical rooms because it kills a lot of those bacteria and those fungi and stuff. So when you pump it up in your guts, it will kill a lot of the bacteria down in the lower part. And you don't have all the side effects that come with antibacterial drugs and antibiotics. Like antibiotics, a lot of times you'll have like crappy strains of bacteria that grow afterwards. With ozone, it's just going to kill it all, and typically your body responds a lot better because now you have that oxygen left over that the good bacteria can grow with it. And so, yeah, I mean, one of a fellow practitioner of mine, he was telling me about an experience he had with ozone, with an ozone enema. He had a Down syndrome kid. Mom brought this Down syndrome kid in, and the child had just like the last little bit had been felt like they were kind of degenerating more. Like function was going away, speaking was going away. She brought him, she's like, I just don't know what to do. No one has any answers for me. He's just like, well, we can try this. I mean, there is a gut brain connection. Let's try it. And they did an ozone enema, and she came in the next day and was just like, he pooped out a tapeworm that was like 2 feet long. And now he's talking again. And she's like, can I buy one of these machines? And I ended up showing her like where she could buy a machine. And she just had a bag and she was doing ozone enemas very consistently and said it cleared up so many of the problems that the child was having.
Wow.
So there's stories like this. And this is the thing, it's not the norm, but we can't neglect the fact that there are things like this that happen. But again, who's going to pay for a study? Who's going to fund a study like that? Because think of all the drugs that we take for stomach problems.
All kinds of acid reflux and laxatives and whatever else.
You have to look at why are we not getting studies on this? It's because who's going to pay
There's
for
no
the
money
study?
in it.
And who's going to fight that study coming out? There's a lot of people that will fight those studies coming out.
Yeah, so why do it?
Yeah, so.
Even if you have the money to do it, you're just going to get shot down.
Yeah, so that would be another method. And that, honestly, those would probably be the biggest things I would do if I had cancer. It's not a crazy list. And yes, some of those things may sound different and eccentric, but I feel like it would be something that I would do. And
you mean the enemas?
The enemas, just all the things.
All the things we've talked about, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
So
to review, we had the sleep, number one, food, very close, number two.
Yes.
Nutrition, number two. Exercise. The supplements to help sleep.
Yeah. So
that's part of sleep.
And with the supplements too, like I'd probably take something like, where I would take inositol, berberine, those are in those sleep supplements. I would probably take like a good vitamin D supplement. A lot of times though, if I'm eating good quality animal fat, I'm going to get a lot of the vitamins and nutrition from that animal fat. I get all my B complex vitamins. In fat, like B complex vitamins are typically going to be like the red part of the meat and stuff, but the like fat soluble vitamins, D, A, K, and E, are all in fat. And so if I'm getting good quality fat and I'm eating that, I'm going to be getting a lot of those vitamins.
Right. So we don't need to take a lot of supplements, if any, if we're eating correctly.
Yes.
Because we're getting everything we need. We don't need the supplements.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and then finally, the self-mastery for not only physical benefit, but yes, psychological benefit.
Psychological, mental.
And cleanse.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds great. I have a few more questions for you.
You hit me with anything.
All right. Do we know what causes cancer?
Oh, there's so many different answers for this question.
Give me your top one.
Mine would be lifestyle. Yeah. I think lifestyle causes cancer.
Gotcha.
I think a crappy lifestyle, stagnant lifestyle.
And are cancer cases on the rise?
We talked about this earlier on where you were talking about how,
Who do you trust?
yeah, who you trust, but also like more people are becoming more aware of wellness, but a lot of the damage has already been done. The toxic chemicals, and that could be another thing that I would do. Just coming with the cleansing, I would avoid all dyes and things like that from my diet. Dyes, all of the, and I didn't really even bring it up because it's already part of my life. Like all of the products I use are very natural. They don't have fragrances. It's,
Oh, you mean like deodorants and shampoos?
yeah, it's a lot of essential oils. I never use sunscreen. Coconut oil and zinc. Like that's what I use for sunscreen. And yeah,
I haven't used sunscreen in years.
yeah, I haven't used sunscreen since I think I was like 12, and it's because my mom made me put it on, and I felt terrible afterwards. So no, I'm much more of a. I'm just gonna put on some coconut oil. Maybe I'll get some like zinc with it. Maybe put some zinc with it. And yeah, I mean, sun exposure is another thing that would be beneficial. Controlled sun exposure
For curing cancer,
Yes.
possibly, and for good lifestyle.
over
Because we need that D.
yes, yeah.
We need the D, baby.
we need the D. Yeah, we need the D, and vitamin D is activated on your skin.
Yeah.
So you can take as much vitamin D as you want, but you have to have it activated on your skin.
Well, and it's back to the grounding. It's like what source is best?
Yes.
The sun or nature's best at Kroger?
Yeah. Well, even if you take a bunch of vitamin, like you have to have sunlight exposure to activate it. So
Good deal. All right. Let's see what else we got. Oh, tell me more about jujitsu. This is a hobby of yours.
there's so many people.
By the way, for people who want to treat cancer, I don't know if jujitsu is the best way to go. But so this could be a bonus.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I could talk about all the different things. So, I mean, I wrestled for 8 years. I loved wrestling. I helped coach wrestling at a local high school, where I'm at. And it is one of those things where it's weird. I started doing jujitsu like probably 3 months ago. And after the first time, I was like, I felt so much stronger. Like I just felt better, because I think innately, men especially, we need to feel like we're fighting something. We need to feel that masculine. And I felt so masculine afterwards. I was like, I feel so great. Like I remember I called my dad afterwards. I was like, Dad, it's like I'm back in high school and wrestling again. And yeah, I mean, beat you up like crazy, but like I am not 18 anymore. I don't bounce and bend the way I used to. And like just the other day, I had some guy who had my arm locked up in a low Americana, and just popped my ulnar collateral ligament over there, just gonzo.
Oh.
And now certain motions are pretty painful, but PRP, I shoot things full of PRP and ozone all the time, and I think I'll be fine in no time.
Well, that's okay. So the ozone enema, but there's also ozone therapy for muscles, right?
Yes, and I
Do you do that on yourself?
Yeah, all the time. Like I do that probably at least once a week, multiple times a week.
Now, what is that? Tell, because I'm not sure I know what that is.
Yeah. So ozone therapy, what I'm doing is I'll take my medical grade oxygen, run it through a machine that creates O3. I put that into a syringe, and let's say I have tissue damage. Let's say I have muscle damage or a ligament that's injured. Ozone, that activate oxygen, is a very reactive molecule, so it's not very stable. If I inject that around where damage is, the extra O will pop off, and it kind of tricks the body into thinking, hey, there's more damage here than there actually is. So you send more blood flow. So again, I am now initiating a bunch more blood flow. And then as soon as it gets there, there's all this leftover oxygen. And what does every single cell in the body need to create energy, to work faster? It needs oxygen. So all that oxygen's left over. And so your body all those cells will now absorb that oxygen and utilize it better.
Do you feel like you heal faster when
So much faster.
Okay.
Yeah, like patellar tendonitis, I do it for myself for like patellar tendonitis just because I don't have those problems as much anymore, but I did a long time. I'm an avid skier. I love skiing, and I mean lifting weights too. Like for a long time I was doing CrossFit, and I get beat my body up. So I had a bunch of like lingering injuries and things from high school that I was dealing with. And the ozone injections make a big difference. And using those with platelet-rich plasma therapy makes a gigantic difference for especially people who are trying to avoid surgery. Yeah. Like I would never get surgery on that. Like, even though like I've done, I know it's pretty bad, but I wouldn't do surgery on it. I would just pump it full of this.
Gotcha. Well, that's
So
interesting. Um, and there was something else in our pre-interview. You told me about ozone therapy. About was it people with tinnitus or vertigo? Was it vertigo?
tinnitus and vertigo. Yeah. We have two patients right now.
Because I kind of have tinnitus.
I have two patients right now that are coming in, and we have like, it's like headphones that they wear, and we literally just have ozone go into their ears. And yeah, again, I would love to tell you I know all the science behind it, but I think honestly just the hyperoxygenation of tissue,
Huh.
um, and probably killing some of the fungus and whatever stuff is in there, and bacteria. Yeah, it's
So I was in a bunch of bands as a kid, and sometimes I get the ringing
again,
when things are
ozone,
real quiet. I
it's
just
just using your body's own mechanisms to heal faster.
hmm.
All I'm doing is just like controlling it into the area. It's Your body has innate intelligence as to how to heal. An educated intelligence is helping guide it.
Cool.
So I'm adding an educated intelligence to that innate intelligence
I love
to
that.
function better.
Okay, and you also told me about a birthday workout challenge that you did recently.
Oh, that was
Now exactly what was that?
a terrible, terrible idea. So I just turned 30 in June, and when I was younger, I think I was like 22, I was in college. There was this workout that I saw that was it was like 3 bars, and you go, so it's body weight bench press, 1.5 your body weight deadlift, and then body weight back squat. And you do, so that's not that bad. But the rep range is 20, 20, 20, 19, 19, 19, 18, 18, 18, 17, 17, 17, all the way down to 1, 1, 1. So I think it's like 210 reps of each or something. And so I think I weigh about 185 when I wake up in the morning, but I was like, I'm just gonna go 195 for the body weight stuff. And then for the deadlift, I think I went 285. And it was me and 5 other guys in there. And it sucked. But I was like, hey, if I start my 30s with this terrible workout, like the rest of my 30s is gonna be easy. And it took me an hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes or something. And like, I have not sweat that much, I don't know, ever. Like, it was so bad. I got to the point where I was no longer sweating, and I literally just went over to the water fountain and just like stuck my face in it. Wasn't drinking. I was just like trying to get as much cold water down. And yeah, I was like, as soon as I get to like the 10 and like those single digits, it'll be easy. No, it wasn't. But the first couple rounds were horrendous. And luckily, I have good enough form. The deadlift was by far the hardest. Um, and I always do deficit deadlift too, so I'll usually do it from like a 45-pound plate. So, um, and I was like, I'm not going to use straps. I had a belt on, of course. I was doing so many reps. I was like, I'm going to wear a belt. And then I had knee sleeves on. And this is not something I would recommend people do a lot. Again, this is a workout I was like, I'm going to do this like one time. And like maybe once every 6 months or something like that, and just to kind of test myself. Because the recovery on it, like, I was garbage for like 3 days, 4 days. My body was just like, I hate you so much. And yeah, I hated myself after that for a while. So that was the birthday workout.
Well, and another self-mastery thing. I mean, you planned on it, you weren't sure if you could do it, you did it. You were really sore, but you can look back on it and it's an achievement.
Yeah, no, it was good. And it was good. I mean, my younger brothers, I have 3 younger brothers, 1 younger sister, and then 1 older brother. And two of my younger brothers were there for a part of it. Only a part of it because they're sissies. Gosh, freaking kids. That's one thing.
Those darn lazy
I know,
kid, those youngins.
they're studs. I love them both. And that is one of those things. If anybody knows anything about me, I had a lot of rage as a kid, and I was not a very nice older brother. Like, I beat the crap out of my older brothers for sure. I got beat up by my older brother. Love him. Him and I are super close. Like, he's awesome. And he's super nice now. But like, him and I used to just have knockdown, drag out fights as a kid. Like, there was the first black eye I ever had. My older brother grabbed my head and slammed my head on a doorknob.
Oof.
We were wrestling, and I threw him, and I was like, I'm beating you. I beat you. I pinned you. and
So he cheated.
he got angry. Yeah, he grabbed my hand, hit on the doorknob. I remember my dad came in, was like, called him an idiot, and I was like, but I was too busy crying because my eye hurt. And then, but he was also the one who would like protect me. Like he was the only one who beat up on me. Like when I was in like 5th grade, he punched a kid in the face because the kid was making fun of me. Amazing,
Yeah.
top tier childhood memory. And then yeah, I mean, my younger brother Caleb, who he is actually my office manager. I was ruthless to him. Like I used to take like my belt, I'd take like a leather belt and tie his hands and his feet up, and then I would leave him in the laundry room and I would turn off the light.
Like a stuck pig or something?
Yep. And our laundry room was like dark. Like it was downstairs in my parents' house and like dark with like the storage room food. And I would just toss him in there.
So can he sleep with blackout curtains today?
I don't know.
Probably no.
He probably has like nightmares all the time. He probably wanted to kill me so much. And the funny thing is now he's significantly bigger than me. He's 6'3", probably 205 right now. But that's the thing. Like he'll never be meaner than me.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not a mean person.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
That's the thing. I always tell my like people will joke. They're like, "Well, your brothers are bigger than you. Can they beat you up yet?" Or like, when I'm hanging out, I've had several girls be like, "So which one of the brothers is the toughest?" And I'll be like, I don't know about toughest, but like I'm for sure the meanest. Like if it comes down to, I have a lot more to lose. If we get in a fight, if I get in a fight with my younger brothers and they beat me, I just lost everything. All that I took 30 years to build this
legacy.
I am the alpha. Like this is 30 years. If they beat me once, I lose that. So I would rather die than lose. And so like my brother Caleb, he does jujitsu with me, and he's doing good. He's big, he's long, and he is aggressive. But that's one of those things I'm just like I
just can't let him win.
I can't let him win. I can't let it. I think and so I have to be careful rolling with him because like I'll try to roll with him very soft and be very like patient and stuff like that and just have it be more of like a chill roll. But
when you mean roll, you mean tussling in jujitsu?
Yeah, like
okay.
We're rolling in jujitsu.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're just practicing and stuff like that. But if it gets live and it gets intense, then it's one of those things where I'm like, I know I'm gonna get a little bit pissed. And
it's probably all those cold plunges in the morning. It's underneath the surface there. You're probably just a little ready to go all the time.
Maybe
because of laying in the snow at 38 degrees.
Gosh, there was So there's that, and I don't know. It's been good with the jujitsu and the different, and that's another big thing is I feel like people need to find something that they can enjoy. I've noticed that because all through undergrad, I mean, I did 9 years of grad school, like 9 years of college, like between college and grad school, like it was just 9 years. So I did my undergrad, and then I actually did my associates in high school. So when I got out of high school, I had my associate's degree, and then I finished my bachelor's. So I was there for like 2.5 years, and then I went to Dallas, moved to Dallas, and I went to grad school in Dallas, and then my school was like, "Hey, you already paid for your doctorate. Do you want a master's?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Like I can do that easy." And it was literally just reading research and reviewing research and being involved in research projects and stuff. And it was cool. Like I liked it, and it's nice to have more letters and just more knowledge there. But that was the thing all through school. In terms, if I look back and think of myself as, was I being healthy? Like I looked fine, I was fit, but like mentally, I think I completely neglected all these different things like meditation and just taking time for myself. And looking back, I'm just like, I would have been so much better off and so much healthier if I would have focused on, number one, my sleep. Number two, I focused a lot on my nutrition, but it was more just like nutrition to keep myself looking good. It was less of how is this making me feel.
And I think we were all like that in our teens.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Especially guys.
Yeah, things I used to eat, the crap that used to go in my mouth, wild. And I was also bulimic for like 6 years. So yeah, I was wrestling in high school, sucking weight. I became bulimic, so I would first I was like exercise bulimic, so I would exercise excessively until I threw up. So I would go on like runs at like midnight if I ate too much, if I binged, and then I would run until I threw up. And then I'd be like, okay, I've thrown up, now I can go home. And then it started getting bad. I got married when I was super young, and I think it's the lack of control. I felt like that was the only thing I could control. So if I was in a situation where like there was a bunch of food that I didn't usually have, I would binge on it and then make myself throw up. So there's different like aspects of that again, the self-mastery, I think that's another reason why I bring up self-mastery with cancer and different lifestyle things. Self-mastery helps in so many different avenues, not just your like mental health, but it helps with physical well-being and emotional well-being. So,
Well, I love it. I'm glad you got through the bulimia, obviously.
It's not my favorite time.
I
have no problem with throwing up now. So anytime I'm sick,
that's some practice.
Yeah. If I know I'm going to be sick, if I know I'm going to throw up, I will just go and make myself throw up.
You just go do it.
I won't just sit by the toilet. I'll puke, and then I'll be like, okay, I know I'm going to throw up probably 16 times. I'm going to feel like garbage. I'm going to hop in the bathtub and then drink a bunch of electrolytes and hopefully not throw that up, and that'll be good.
Well, I appreciate all the education. I think it's neat that you grew up in an environment that was mostly healthy. So you really had a great foundation there.
Yeah.
You've got a research-oriented mind. You like to learn a lot of different things. Clearly, with the doctorate helps. I mean, you're disciplined and learned a lot of stuff. And I like how you equate the curing cancer with a lifestyle that really, and you never said this, and I'm not going to imply that you said it, but if you have a healthy lifestyle, it's likely you'll never get cancer and all the other bad things that we have to medicate ourselves for. So I really like how you're approaching all this.
Yeah.
I assume you work with people. If somebody wanted to contact you and work with their cancer or preventative measures,
Yeah.
workouts or nutrition, can people contact you?
Yeah, of course. So my email is drcutler, so Dr. Cutler at formfitchiro.com.
Cutler.
Yeah, drcutler at formfitchiro.com. You just shoot me an email. And yeah, I have a clinic and do online training, different things like that. I did want to hop back just on one thing that you said, like, again, lifestyle, I think is the number one thing that causes cancer, but there are people who are healthy, who live healthy lifestyles that may have cancer. They may have things that pop up, and a lot of times it comes down to the toxins in the environment, and sometimes things happen. We just don't know why. It's idiopathic. We're not for sure. And even in those situations, it's one of those things where, hey, try and control whatever you can. And but for the majority of people, this is recommendation for the majority of people, it's probably more of a lifestyle thing. And then I can get on a little bit of a soapbox. You want me to go down a little tangent real quick?
Sure. That's what we're here for.
Breast cancer.
Okay.
I have a very strong opinion on breast cancer. So much of the deodorants and stuff that we use have aluminum and different chemicals. And you think about, I have lymph nodes all through my armpits, and these lymph nodes drain up. Okay. Sentinel lymph nodes I think it's right up in here. Okay. And that's one of the number one like tellers for when people have breast cancer, is this will be super swollen and painful. Your sentinel lymph nodes all up and around here. And lymph vessels are what kind of have all of the garbage that your body's trying to get rid of. They have the white blood cells and leukocytes, just different things that are trying to use your immune function, your immune system. And if I'm just loading a whole bunch of garbage and toxins through my armpits, and it gets kind of caught up in those lymphatic vessels and creates blockages, then you have stagnant flow. You have lymphatic cells that aren't moving anywhere. And when you have stagnant flow, that's when you start having metastasis. And so that's my opinion on, okay, why are people getting breast cancer? It's because, number one, we're putting a whole bunch of chemicals that are blocking lymphatic flow, creating metastasis, and then we're feeding it with garbage foods and all these different things. Because you look at pink Gatorade for
breast cancer
awareness. Like, oh, let's just load your body full of a whole bunch of very fast absorbing glucose for cancer, for cancer awareness, right? That's my opinion on breast cancer and why it's so prevalent.
Wow. Well, and as I understand it, a lot of the deodorants are aluminum based,
Yes.
that most of them have it in.
Yeah.
I use one called Crystal.
Yeah.
It's all it is mineral salts. And you can buy it on Amazon. It's not cheap, but it lasts forever. I think I've had the same, I'll call it a block of mineral salts probably for a year now.
Yeah.
And I I don't know. I'm kind of with you in the sense that and drinking the unfiltered water or drinking the filtered water at home and
Yes.
showering with
Yeah.
certain
There's a whole bunch of, and we didn't really get into the
all the
weeds
health
of
products and everything.
just because it's things that we probably already do. Most of the time, the water that I'm drinking is from like a Berkey filter and like a carbon filtered water. There's hydrogenated water. There's different things that so many different things that people will do, and like what products, and everybody's going to ask like, okay, what products you use for these and these. There's a lot of different products out there. I look at, okay, do I know what everything in here is? Can I read all of these words? Do I know what it is? Same thing for my food, but also my products. Beef tallow in terms of like moisturizer, beef tallow, coconut oil. I'm a huge fan. Beef tallow is amazing. And essential oils. I am a huge believer in essential oils. I used to get so angry because my mom would like want to rub essential oils on me all the time. Like anytime I was sick, I was like, Mom, just get away from me. I'm fine. And she'd be like, no, we need to put some like essential oils on you and it will help you feel better. And now, immediately when I feel myself getting sick, I'm straight to my oil drawer. I have a bunch of oils. I'll just pull out a bunch, put some coconut oil on, put the oils on, let my body kind of sit with it. And yeah, God did a good job. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole like religious thing, but deity did a good job when they made the body. And
It totally makes sense. I mean, they would know best, right?
yes. And I mean, there's so many amazing things out there, whether it's THC, like marijuana, honestly, mushrooms. I think mushrooms are one of the greatest things that there are. Like those are phenomenal for psychological well-being and mental health. I wish that we did more with those. And I know that more studies and more places that you can experiment with those and like utilize those as help meets for things are coming out. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good time to be alive in the sense that I talk about this a lot when I talk about my book, is new media is such a blessing to our generation.
Yeah.
Because and new media, for those who don't know the term, it's podcasts and YouTube videos and blogs and emails versus the old media, which was the mainstream media and the AM radio and newspapers and magazines.
Yeah.
And again, those things might have their place, but I think we're finding out a lot of things by sharing our ideas and our experiences, because the perfect society is all about alternatives. That's why I like to do these interviews, because we learn new things that people are doing and maybe have done or think are better than the traditional ways of doing things.
What are your like biggest changes that you think you've made since starting this podcast? Like, what are the things you've picked up from other people you feel like are like the biggest changes you've made?
You know, I honestly don't know. Because a lot of the interviews that I do are things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So I'm already doing a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
There's probably the one interview that I did that I learned so much. I interviewed a Jew who was in Israel when Israel got bombed a year and a half ago, and her neighborhood got bombed.
Wow.
So she described getting her kids and going into the shelter, and she and her kids fled to the United States while her husband stayed home, and just the terror of all. And of course, I could get into the weeds about war, which I do on some of my other.
Yeah.
You know, I have a short called "This Is How We End War." But probably for her, it was just so eye-opening that, you know, here I am in this comfy, cozy country where we think we have problems. I mean, you know, you go on social media, you think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Right? You go on Facebook and 90% of the posts are about how awful things are. And then I interviewed her. My jaw was on the floor the whole time. I mean, the people who have seen that interview, I talked 5% of the time because I didn't know anything about the conflict and I've never lived through such a thing. So I'd say that's probably where I've talked to people, you know, fitness people and people who've gone through trauma and parents and of course I'm a parent. So I pick up a few things, but I think the thing that I learned the most was just how glad I am that I live here. Because talking to that lady, and we're still in touch. We still Facebook every now and again. She's back. She went back to Israel
Wow.
with her kids. But I think about her and I'm like, when's the next time they're going to get a sneak attack?
Yeah.
Living under that stress. You're talking about stress.
Yeah. That's true. That's true stress.
Oh yeah.
That's true. But that is the thing when it comes to stress, like back wherever during war times, like it was a stress of, am I going to get killed? Now it's a stress of, you think through, am I making enough money? We create conflicts inside of ourselves. And that is honestly one of those reasons why I'm just like, hey, things like jujitsu or exercise or things that you don't like, I think are a good thing for everybody. Because if you create something that you can fight against, you won't be fighting against yourself. And it's the same thing in like business relationships, like me and my business partner. When we have something that we're fighting against, when we have a mutual person that we're fighting against or a mutual thing that we're fighting against, things go so much better. But when we don't, we fight against each other. And
because you create stress.
You create stress.
Yeah.
You create things to stress about.
I've often thought about that about social media. I think we fabricate a lot of problems.
Absolutely.
Which just indicates that we've really got it good here.
Yes.
That when you're online and I'm not saying all people's problems online are fabricated and they're not real and all that, but I am saying that I think a lot of us get hyped up about stuff that we really don't need to be getting hyped up about.
Yeah.
And the fact that we do probably means that we're living in a great country. Like if that's all you're going to worry about is getting online and arguing about abortion or arguing about Trump, if somebody's wearing a hat and it pisses you off.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it pretty good.
Yeah.
You're not over in some civil war country where you don't know when the next attack is coming.
Yeah. I think it's the same with dating too. I think dating, we're getting too in the weeds of every little thing. We're focusing on every little thing. And you go on social media, and I mean, a lot of my social media feed right now is like dating stuff. And it's guys versus girls and like these different things. And you're fighting against, it's just like, oh my gosh, this person over here is so bad. I'm just like, this used to be just you meet someone, you realize, hey, we have some differences. Can we work with these differences or can we not? If you can work with these differences, if you guys can grow together, great. If not, probably shouldn't be together. But I feel like social media just exacerbates all of the little things, and you end up focusing on these tiny little differences that just get perpetually pushed down and blown up. And yeah, it's
the dark side of new media for sure. I mean, as much as I love new media and all the things that we can learn about each other and new things we can discover, there's the dark side too, obviously. Good and bad and everything. But well, thanks for coming in. I appreciate the education. Before you go, we have to do the speed round.
Speed round, okay.
Now, the speed round, you have to answer these questions as quickly and succinctly as possible.
Okay.
Can you do it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is Tom Cruise the greatest stuntman on earth?
No.
Where do thoughts come from?
Innate intelligence.
Name your favorite scent.
Vanilla.
Is Bigfoot real or a bear with good public relations?
Bigfoot's real.
Movies at home or the theater?
Home. Always.
Pardon?
Always.
Always?
Always
Okay.
home.
There is a food that you eat that everyone thinks is disgusting. What is it?
Trying to think. Is there a food that I eat that everyone thinks is disgusting? I don't know. I feel like everything I eat is pretty normal.
Okay, fair. So nobody walks into your house and you're eating something and they have to walk away because it's just vile.
I'll be honest, like my ketchup. I like ketchup. I use ketchup on a lot of things. When I was younger, I used to put ketchup on broccoli.
Okay, well, there you go. Maybe ketchup on broccoli. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Should chiropractors be allowed to marry medical doctors?
Marry medical doctors?
Yes.
Absolutely.
True or false? Kevin Costner and Westerns go together like meat and potatoes.
No.
What's your favorite movie?
Warrior.
Warrior?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the
brothers fight.
UFC
Yeah. The two brothers.
and the brothers?
Yeah.
That's a fantastic movie.
My favorite movie.
And I don't know that a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Watch
Was
that.
Nick Nolte the dad in that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite book?
Atlas Shrugged.
Favorite musical artist?
The Goo Goo Dolls. John Resnick, the Goo Goo Dolls, who did the soundtrack for Treasure Planet, which is also my favorite Disney movie.
They did a lot of soundtracks. Yeah. The Goos. What is your favorite salad dressing?
Oh, I hate salad, so salad is rabbit food. But if I have arugula and spinach, probably like I'll do avocado oil mayo mixed with ketchup, and it's like a fry sauce almost. I'll use that. It's kind of like Thousand Island dressing a little bit, but it's healthier. Maybe that.
Okay. Are ghosts real?
Yes, 100%.
I get a lot of quick answers on that, and it's always yes. I think I need to have all you guys back that have said yes during the speed round. I want to hear your experience.
Ghosts are for sure real. Like, it's terrifying.
Right on. How do we end war?
Oh, that's a great question. Mind your own damn business.
Does circumcising baby males
Oh my gosh.
violate the principle of my body, my choice?
Oh, I think it might. Yeah. I mean, if we're making the decision for that, yeah. I mean, how do we know the baby doesn't want to have a turtleneck?
All right. What's more dangerous to society? Sugar, TikTok, or weak men?
Oh, weak man.
What is the meaning of life?
Finding purpose beside yourself.
Did OJ do it?
Yes.
What is a mantra that you live by?
I will never live for the sake of another man, nor ask another man to live for mine.
John Galt.
Yep.
Is the earth flat or round?
I'm going to go round.
What's your most controversial health opinion you won't say in front of a patient?
Ooh. 90% of the medications that you're taking, you don't need to be taking.
Who is better at running things, free people or politicians?
Free people.
What does the average person not know that you wish they did?
It's just not that big of a deal.
When was the last time you proposed a toast?
Probably 2 years ago. No. On my roof, like a week ago.
Are UFOs real?
Yes.
True or false? Money can buy happiness.
I mean, there's always it's better to cry in a Mercedes than to cry on a bicycle. So I do believe that it can help.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars, hands down.
Your happiest childhood moment?
When I took state in wrestling and I hugged my dad afterwards.
Is emotional intelligence overrated or underprescribed?
Underprescribed.
Have you ever tasted something so good that you wanted to slap your mama?
Oh, here's the problem. My mom is two-dimensional. If I slapped her, she would die. So I don't think I've ever tasted something so good that I would slap my mama.
Okay, you're a doctor. So I would like to ask you, Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, or Dr. Fink?
Oz.
Dr. Oz. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Prince.
Metallica or Pantera?
Metallica.
2112 or Xanadu?
2112.
City or country?
City or country? Country.
Multiple choice. Taxes are A, too high, B, too low, or C, just right.
A, too high. Too high. Always too high.
Complete this sentence. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more.
Aspirin? I don't know.
Okay. Do you have a hankering for a hunk of cheese?
Always.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Hey, thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it, Dr. Cutler. You really gave us a lot to think about, and that's what Brainspace is all about. So we really appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you letting me.
Oh, of course. So, and for those of you joining us, thank you for joining us. Remember, on everybody'shappy.com, we do have merch. We have the cool bumper stickers and the mini stickers that you can put on your tablet or laptop or shoulder as a tattoo. And we got the great Perfect Society shirts, which are double-sided. What size do you wear? What's t-shirt?
Probably a large or an XL.
A large or an XL?
However, I will grab that from you later because I am on the motorcycle.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to put one aside for you, so we'll do the large. Well, I'll do both. You can just wear one to sleep in and one to wear around. And you should know, folks, that the shipping is free on all of our merch, and the profit margin on everything we sell through merch is less than $3. So whatever you're paying online is virtually cost. At the Perfect Society, we're all about building a perfect society and not necessarily always about making all the money. Hopefully the YouTube videos are doing that, so we don't ask the subscribers or the followers or the fans to pay our way. So get your merch at everybody'shappy.com, and thank you again for joining us. Don't be a numbskull. Work on building a perfect society, and we can all live in a better place sooner rather than later. So thank you, goodbye, sayonara, adios. Take care, and see you next time. The cure for the common cold may be the biggest medical mystery of our time. The cure for cancer is a close second. But what if the cure for cancer already exists and it's right in front of us? Not waiting in a lab, not locked behind research we haven't done yet. What if our lifestyle choices are what cause cancer in the first place, and better choices prevent it entirely? Dr. Bridger Cutler thinks the cure for cancer has been available all along: sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness. Not reacting to disease after diagnosis, but living a lifestyle that stops it from manifesting. Here's what makes Dr. Cutler unusual. He already has a protocol he will follow if he gets cancer. Not a vague intention, an exact plan. And here's the part that stops you. He's so confident in the protocol he's living right now at age 30 that he believes he'll never need that backup plan. His current lifestyle gives him that certainty. His sleep patterns, nutrition approach, exercise regimen, and mindfulness practice. He thinks this prevents cancer before it even starts. Most of America lives without looking ahead to potential medical issues. Most people react after problems appear. Dr. Cutler is proactive, building the foundation before anything goes wrong. That's not just about health outcomes, that's about agency. The belief that you can engineer your biology rather than wait for it to fail you. Whether he's right or not, the confidence itself tells you something about how he sees control, preparation, and the future. This is why my Brainspace interviews matter, and I recommend you watch all of them on the Perfect Society YouTube channel, because you will hear ideas that never surface in mainstream media, and often not even in social media. Dr. Cutler's approach isn't about waiting for a cure. It's about living like the cure has always been available through deliberate lifestyle design. That's a mindset we can all adopt. Planning ahead, weaving prevention into our current lives to reduce disease risk and enjoy the life we have right now. It's definitely something to think about. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.